Life is the school, love is the lesson. How many of you can say that lessons repeat? How many of you notice that life has the ability to have our lessons repeat, right? And I would suggest that if you've been keeping a journal or you have a diary or something like that, and you actually went back and reviewed all of your life lessons, you'd see that there's a theme to all of these, and that theme is love. It's really about loving ourselves, being more forgiving, loving others. And when I say life is a school, love is the lesson, I think it begs that we unpack this word love. We just agree on a definition of love, and I get to say what that is right now. And what that is acceptance. I hashed it out with a friend of mine, and where we arrived at was that the experience of love is really acceptance. And when I stand in front of someone and say, I love you, it's really, I'm saying I accept you. Everything is included. Nothing is being judged. There's nothing outside. So there's this felt sense of wholeness. And I'm going to actually be audacious and say that's oneness. And it's interesting that Einstein talked about oneness. And the way that he talked about oneness was he said E equals mc squared. So everything that you can possibly know with your five senses, matter, is E, energy, one thing. So we're back to the oneness again. But what's interesting is Einstein also said that our task is to free ourselves from the prison of the illusion, this optical delusion of consciousness that has us believing in separation, that we might widen our circle of compassion to include all of life and all of nature in its beauty. And so there's this kind of sort of conundrum type thing going on where there's this fundamental unity going on. Science, quantum physics all points to this fundamental unity, underlying unity. And yet we're having this experience of two-ness, this experience of another, or me and life. And so maybe, just maybe, life is the school, love is the lesson, love is about oneness. Maybe we're here to remember our wholeness. And when people come to see me, I instruct my coaching clients to adopt a learning orientation to life. And what happens when we take a learning orientation to life is that we see that now everything that has ever happened and everything that ever will happen has been for us. If I'm approaching it as how can I learn, what can I get from this, how can I up-level? And when I see that everything is for me, now I can no longer claim victimhood, because that's the story of, oh, this is happening to me. No, it's happening for you. And so there goes all the drama. So nothing's happening to you, it's happening for you. No need to be dramatic. Just look for the lesson. And two places where drama shows up in our lives is when we feel wronged or when life is spanking us to give us a wake-up call. And so when we feel wronged, we say, I'm upset because you're not listening. Well, there's three fingers pointing back at me. It's three times truer about me when I say you're not listening. Well, I'm not listening to myself. I'm not listening to you. Not listening to my heart. Not listening to spirit. And life is constantly our teacher. It's a mirror. It's always, always, always mirroring back to us. Someone earlier said it's like we get what we believe we deserve, right? Life is mirroring back to us. The other place that we can get into some drama is when life has this ability to bring our lessons back around, and it increases the consequence, right? If we don't get it, the consequence increases when it comes around the second, third, fourth time. Well, that's life rattling our cage so that we'll get the lesson and we'll integrate that lesson. Because when I integrate the lesson, let's say my lesson is don't touch the red hot stove. Well, after the 3rd degree burn, and I integrate the lesson, I no longer need to have that type of pain in my life. So life, when it rattled my cage with a 3rd degree burn, it was loving me into a higher state of being. It was loving me into a higher quality of life. So life itself is loving me. And it's for that reason I encourage people to adopt the learning orientation to life. So to kind of bring this all together, if we agree that E equals mc squared, kind of been proven. If we agree that there is a fundamental unity to life, oneness, and we feel into the experience of love, the felt experience of oneness is love, then when I'm being oneness, I'm being love. And it would stand to reason that if oneness is the truth, that the peak human experience that we could have would be self-love. The one loving itself. And I believe that's what this is about. So I strongly encourage you to adopt a learning orientation to life and join me in the eyes of love. Thank you.